this honor. I'm humbled. I can only say that the years that I've been here in Miami-Dade County, as Rabbi Weberman has so eloquently stated, is I now am standing on shoulders of giants. The work that we continue to do here and we will continue to do, I don't do myself, of course. I have a wonderful staff, but we've also had wonderful teachers. And if you look at our mission statement, even though we're obligated by Florida law to do a lot of what we do, if you look at our mission statement that's posted everywhere in our department, you'll find the words dignity, compassion, accuracy, timely, sensitivity. I often remind everyone that we deal with individuals at the worst day of their life, whether it's from the director's office or whether it's from any bureau in our investigation staff to any other bureau in our department. And we're reminded of that every day, because people that have hurts, that are hurting, come through our doors every day. And it isn't until we see the hurt on their face and the hurt in their heart that calls us to do what we can to not only fulfill our obligation, but to do it in as sensitive a manner as possible. And only through our association can we really fulfill our mission. And there's more than one way to fulfill our mission. Certainly, we as physicians are trained, particularly us as forensic pathologists, are trained to use a laboratory tool called an autopsy to gain information. But we're also trained to use many other tools. And my association with the department, my association with Rabbi Weberman over the years has reinforced the importance of using all the tools in the toolbox that we have. In our association over the years, Rabbi Weberman, when I met Rabbi Rosenberg here just a few months ago, I had to think to myself, why are you here? We already have Rabbi Weberman, you know?
Mark, not Rabbi.
Yeah, Mark, yes. That's the first thought that came to mind. We already have Rabbi Weberman, and he's taught us so much about how to exercise these tools that we have in a compassionate and a dignified way. So thank you, Rabbi Weberman, for all your training, for your teaching, for your constant display of compassion and love to everyone here, and particularly the families that you serve, and the families that you and I serve together, and will continue to serve together. And thank you for this honor. I'm really touched. And for those of you who may or may not know it, I may be more Jewish than you really think, because I worship the same God that you do. And that spirit lives right here. And so, we share a lot of things in common.
I have nothing there. I have a daughter-in-law from Holland.
Oh, okay. All right, there you go. Well, they say if you're not Dutch, you're not much. Thank you.
The next honoree, which is the Honorable Service Award for Detective Gutierrez from Miami Beach Police Department. Before, I just want to tell you something. Me and Detective Gutierrez, we met. Okay, like I said before, something like because the gates didn't, the casket didn't hit the gate. But we met on not such a good scene. And it wasn't, pleasant meeting on such a scene. But I want to tell you this much, that when I got there, I think it was on the 7th floor of the hotel, I met Detective Gutierrez. He was surrounded by a lot of people, from New York, people, vacationers. And I have to tell you that after he understood and we talked for a while, we became like friends, and we felt like I felt that he understands what the situation is, and when we were praying as the body was being taken out of the service elevator, I think he was praying with us, and he really felt very comfortable, and he was compassionate and sensitive to the situation. And the funeral still happened, I believe, that day in New York, and on behalf of the family, just like the medical examiner, would like to thank you. If the family would be able, they would come down here and thank you themselves. And thank you. And for this honoree, I would like to call up to do the presentation, community activist, long supporter of Chesed Shel Emes, and somebody from your neighborhood, Mr. Steve Bogomilsky. Thank you.
It's from Detective Gutierrez. I'd like to call up Sergeant Bennett from the Miami Beach Police Department's homicide department as well. Because in truth, this is a shared award. My background in South Florida is about 18 years ago. I married a rabbi's daughter here, and it kind of brought me to South Florida. I lived in the city of North Bay Village, where I was a city commissioner for a number of years, and recently in 2006 I moved over to the beach. I live right here I'm really from your neck of the woods, Pine Tree and 37. I literally a stone's throw away from here. Years ago I heard a story about something that took place in the Warsaw Ghetto during the uprising in the Warsaw Ghetto, right before the Nazis came in and practically exterminated everyone who was there. And the story is told that there was a young rabbi who was practically a rabbi to children. There were children who were his followers. And it was one of the last things that occurred before the Nazis came in and took them all away to the gas chambers. And he wrote a book, and the book disappeared during the war. The book was found by a young child after the war, and he saw an American soldier on the street, and he brought it to the soldier. And the soldier recognized it must be something special. He didn't know what it was because he saw Hebrew letters. And he found the chaplain to the army, who was a Rabbi Hollander at the time, and he brought him the book. And the book, inside of it, had, in the front page, it said, "I may not survive, but if this book survives, whoever prints this book, I give him my blessings." To us in Judaism, we cherish everything we can, and we try to make sure that we respect everything from the prior generations, as well as give message and instructions to our children that they also recognize the hardship, the work that our elders have put into something. Just like a simple book, which to a soldier who recognizes there's something that's important, we recognize as well when someone passes away, whether disregarding their politics or what they've done in their life, a body still has a soul and has to go back to its creator. There is something that's of sanctity there, and we have to sanctify it. And that's a job. It's very hard. I've been involved personally in cases which involve the governor of the state of Florida, governor of Maryland, and various other agencies throughout the United States with Rabbi Gluck directly, or as I call him, Svi. But it's always been done in a level of dignity which I have not seen. And for that, I am honored to be able to partake and be involved with Chesed Shel Emes at times. And as I said before, the reason, what is the meaning of a Chesed Shel Emes? We have a burial society. There are many people their desire is to be part of the burial society. And for some people, it's even hard to be around a dead body. How do you deal with it? It's strange. Is it clean? Is it not? And if you've been through any of the processes that the Jewish Burial Society goes through when they take a body and they clean it, you would have to say, wow, with such reverence and such respect, it's done. To us, it's important. And as an organization reaching out to the various police departments and agencies involved, we more than appreciate the understanding, and sometimes we can even be pushy. and try to force our views on the agencies. And I understand it. And I know where it comes from, because, we want to get the body buried. It's not personal. It's more important just for the sanctity of that person's soul and to give them a proper burial. And I know it's hard. And for that alone, we appreciate it in a tremendous way. And being local homicide department here, we've had numerous cases in Miami Beach which have been Jewish bodies, Jewish deceased. And we appreciate that you understand us, and you got a little bit of an insight into what we do and why we do it, and we hope that you'll have your door open to us in the future and work with us so that we can give the proper dignity that's due to a deceased and to a loved one. The award that I was asked to present states the following. It's the Honorable Service Award. It says, this award is being proudly presented to Detective Det.Gutierrez, Miami Beach Police Department Criminal Investigation and Homicide Unit, in great appreciation of his outstanding service to our community, and especially for their sensitivity and consideration to our religious needs. We wish Detective Gutierrez continued success in all his endeavors, and look forward to an ongoing relationship between him and Chesed Shel Emes, and might I add, the entire Jewish community. Presented by Rabbi Mendy Rosenberg, and Mr. Mark Rosenberg, the Florida Division Supervisor.
Good afternoon. It's an honor, and I'm humbled to be standing up here today, because I've been in homicide division since November, and to receive something like this, it's very nice, very, very nice. And I just remembering that Sunday morning when I met Mark. How do you not like him? It's on Sunday morning, and he's there volunteering himself out of the kindness of his heart to help somebody which he never met and I never met. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who this person is. He could have been, a governor, a president. He's still a human being, and he deserved, the respect that Mark and I gave him that day. And I just guess that Mark and I just hit it off that day, because I guess we're much alike, because I think we're both kind people, and we want to help others. And at the end of the day, that's what I like to do. And on behalf of Miami Beach Police Department, if I can ever help you, or my sergeant can ever help you, the door is always open. Thank you again.
Thank you, Detective. Thank you, Sergeant Bennett. Sergeant Bennett spoke over the phone, and we met over the phone and we talked about it. And whenever you want, we're ready to do another medical legal presentation for your staff, whatever. I know we talked about it. Detective Gutierrez just reminded me of another thing. Now that you were talking about the story, and I don't want to miss it, that at about that evening, at about 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night, I got a phone call from Detective Gutierrez, and he wanted to know how everything worked out, and if the body got to New York, and if they made funeral arrangements. So, thank you again. That's an additional step that you took. I'd also like to recognize the mayor from North Miami Beach. He's been hiding out over there. George Rollard, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for your attendance. I would also like to recognize John Julian, who we met before, from State Representative, District 104. Thank you very much. And I missed one of the most important people who helped me set up the computer programming in the medical examiner's department. George, right? I sent you you loaded it up, and otherwise, I don't know if it would work, but thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Glad you made it.